And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, the mighty, and despair. Today, I want to discuss branding. For many people, it is a vast, complex subject, one that often feels closer to mysticism than science. Different stakeholders have different views on branding. If you're a business owner, branding might feel like limited to having logo and a showroom. If you're a marketer, branding often equates to marketing collaterals and organizing events. If you're a designer, branding might feel more like justifying enormous fees for a visual identity book. Just kidding. But what is branding exactly? If we start from the beginning, a brand is a proprietary trademark for a specific product or service. Historically, farmers would brand their cattle. People recognized the owner of the livestock and associated quality and assurance with a mark. Businesses soon learned the power of branding. Branding helped a company stand out from competitors. The 2024 Edelman's Trust Barometer revealed that 59% of the buyers purchase based on the beliefs and values. If they don't trust who you are, they won't trust what you sell. You can shift customer perception, implying higher quality or value before a purchase is even made. According to Salsify's 2024 customer research, 87% of customers are willing to pay more for a product from a brand they trust. Brandings with genuine, consistent connection with customers will eat long-term growth. A 2021 report by Mark found that maintaining brand consistency across all channels will increase the revenue by 10 to 20%. In modern days, branding is about differentiation, to make a product more appealing to a certain group of people than competitors. However, the field is full of jargons that confuse people. What should you actually do to help you build a brand and sell more products? I want to share a story, a deconstruction, to peel back the layers of branding so you understand the functions of each component, why you need it, and how to execute it. The rain hammered against the slate roof, a rhythmic drumming that filled the dusty confines of a garret. A young girl kneeled before a figure. "Dear fairy mother," the girl whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of fear and desire. "I beseech you, I wish to marry a prince." The fairy mother tilted her head. "Sweet child, is that truly the desire of your heart? You would forsake the warmth of a hearth and the simple normal life for the cold stone and the colder politics of a palace?" "Yes," the girl answered, her chin lifting with a sudden, unnatural resolve. "Very well," the matron replied, "but remember, child, magic is not a gift, it is trade. There's always a price to pay." The fairy mother raised her wand, a twisted branch of silver birch. A stroke of luminescent light spiraled around the girl. The attic, the rain, and the smell of lavender dissolved into nothingness. Years bled into moments, and the narrative resumed on a night heavy with anticipation. It was the night of the grand ball. The air was thick with the perfume of ambition. Wealthy merchants and landed gentry alike sought to position their daughters before the crown. At the iron gates, a scene of cruel disparity unfolded. Stern guards, acting as arbiters of beauty and station, denied entry to those whose features were deemed too plain. The weeping of the rejected mingled with a joyful symphony escaping the palace windows. Inside, the grand ballroom was a kaleidoscope of velvet, lace, and jewels. Beneath chandeliers, couples swirled in the regimented chaotic beauty of the waltz. Yet, upon the dais, seated on a velvet throne, sat Prince Julian. He was the heir apparent, a young man of striking figures but weary eyes. Parade of aristocrats presenting their daughters left him thoroughly amused. Then, the great clock tower tolled. The heavy oak door swung open, silencing the orchestra and the chatter of the crowd. A silhouette appeared, framed by the golden light of the corridor. The royal announcer struck his staff upon the floor. "Lady Eleanor Winfield, first of her name, daughter of the Lord Winfield, warden of the Winfield estate." A collective gasp spread through the room. The newcomer possessed hair as lustrous as spun bullion, crowned by the delicate tiara of rock crystal. Her skin was as pale as flawless as driven slow, contrasting sharply with the lips of the color of a blood-red ruby. She was donned in a gown of midnight sapphire silk that seemed to hold its own light, glimmering like a star-strewn sky. Upon her feet, impossibly, were the shoes of solid crystal, reflecting the candlelight into a thousand rainbows. Eleanor glided towards the dais, her movement more like floating than walking. Prince Julian rose. "My lady," he murmured, extending a hand. "May I have the honor?" She placed her hand in his. "The honor is mine, your highness." They swept onto the floor, the crowd parting like the Red Sea. They waltzed. "You dance as though you have wings, Lady Eleanor," the prince remarked, searching her eyes. "And you lead, sir, as though you carry the weight of the world, yet refuse to let it drag you down," she replied with a coy smile. The prince laughed. Her wit was a match of its own, a rare spark in a room full of dull compliance. When the music ceased, Eleanor stepped back. She bowed deeply. Before the prince could request another dance, she turned and walked away, not with haste, but with dignity of a queen departing her court. She left the ballroom, leaving the prince standing alone amidst the crowd. He looked down. There, upon the polished floor, lay a handkerchief. It was fine cambric embroidered with silver thread. Clutching the token like a lifeline, the prince wasted no time. Days later, the royal carriage traversed the misty plains. The Windsor Castle sat in solitude, a grand, imposing structure of grey stone rising from the moors. In the great hall, beneath the tattered banners of her ancestors, Eleanor awaited him. Above the hearse hung the family crest, bearing the motto in bold script. There was no need for prolonged courtship. The magic of the night and the certainty of the connection spoke louder. The two families met, solemn vows were exchanged, and a marriage was made. As gold began slipping onto her finger, she glanced out of the window toward the distant attic of her memory. She had a prince, and she had a palace. The normal life was forsaken, and the price was paid. She belonged to the crown now, forever frozen in the perfection she had wished for. Believe it or not, this cliché Victorian romance fantasy comic novel is actually an accurate depiction of how branding works. It encompasses the three layers of brand and its contents. These are the look, the move, and the soul. Let me explain. The first layer of a brand is a look. The world is often divided by what we wear and how we appear. As you can see in the comics, the world judges by appearances, and your target audience has seen it all. If your look is ordinary, the audience will not be interested. I'm using the ballroom entry as an example, but think about the millions you're investing in exhibitions and congresses. How much attention and inquiry are you actually generating? Maybe you're selling the same products as your competitors, but is your look as successful at attracting customers as the others? In the corporate world, the first thing people notice is your logo. A great logo designed with intent and detail captures the audience's attention, much like a female protagonist here. Brand color also matters. In the graphics, we see the signature palette of a main character. Hair as yellow as gold, skin as pale as snow, and lips as red as ruby. Strong brand colors leave strong impressions on your audience and remind them of you each time they appear. Then there's a name. A great branding and a catchy tagline boost authority. In this case, the name Eleanor is a long-established aristocratic name used in French royal families. It suggests intelligence, self-possession, and certain gravity. You also have the brand elements, things that adorn the character, such as sapphire dress, crystal tiara, and shoes that speak to her status. In the business, these are reflected in product design, packaging, and marketing collaterals. We live in a sea of similarities. If you fail to capture attention of the customers in the first place, you may lose the opportunity to speak out about strengths and advantages forever. The next layer is the move. This is how the brand behaves and expresses itself through brand personality, brand voice, and brand story to build intimacy with your target audience. Like people, brands without personalities can be boring. You can be a creator who constantly infuses the world with new innovations, or a caregiver aiming to protect and heal the world. Your brand should also have a distinct voice. It can be funny or serious, formal or casual. But the tone should cater to the preference of your audience, just as a lady adapted to the prince. Lastly, your brand should have a story, a narrative that guides your audience towards an objective with urgency. You need to poke the heartstring at the right moment. The last, innermost layer is the soul, or the essence of a brand. As the story suggests, you have to get close to see it. As our prince goes to the estate of the female character, he saw the southern castle, the family motto, and all things that speak about family he's about to marry. When it comes to branding, customers don't just want to purchase products. They want to be part of something they believe in. And the very best clients look for the very best qualities. I'm referring to the brand values, brand vision, and brand purpose. Brand purpose is used to unite your team and customers and rally them for a common goal. For example, Tesla's brand purpose is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy so Elon Musk can make enough money and to realize his master plan and move to Mars. Just kidding. For Boston Scientific, their purpose is to advance science for life to create innovative care and a healthy planet. You need to be specific about what you do and the goal you want to achieve. Otherwise, it will sound cliché. Brand vision is a statement where your company is now and where it will be in the foreseeable future, especially in the business sense. For example, Tesla's brand vision is to be the most compelling car company of the 21st century. Medtronic's vision focuses on being the global technology leader in the healthcare industry. Notice how Medtronic sets a broad goal in the whole healthcare industry. Boston Scientific's vision is to be the leading innovator advancing patient treatment and quality of life in less invasive medical technology. Notice how Boston Scientific is restricting its business to less invasive medtech. A clear brand vision with defined ideas and goals inspires your employees, distributors, and customers. Brand values are the guiding principles that create value and driving force for what you stand for in the world. This is about how you do things. So it dictates the experience your customers, suppliers, and the wider public will have with your brand. For example, Tesla has the following values. For Medtronic, here are their values. Note, you must live up to your values. Do not use values to reflect an idealized or perfected image of yourself. Otherwise, you may be exposed as a phony. Before delving into tactical details, you must prepare extensively by building up your go-to-market strategy. This involves segmentation, targeting, and positioning. We will discuss this in detail in our go-to-market episode. This brings us back to the beginning of the story, where our little Eleanor besieges her fairy godmother. She does not want to wish just about anyone. She wants to marry a prince. This is her target audience. However, the fairy godmother warned her, there's a price to be paid. Strategy is about choice. If you choose one path, you say goodbye to the others. There are certain things you must do and things you must not. You cannot be a prince's fiancée one day, a merchant's mistress the next, and a peasant's daughter the day after. You have to be consistent. Achieving that consistency requires time, money, and resolve. Many companies with lofty ambitions boast about becoming industry leaders in record time. Yet, they overlook the immense resources and patience required to build a brand image, and often find themselves forced to abandon the effort halfway through. Other companies try to mimic foreign brands, only to be exposed by the inconsistencies of their past actions. They tend to appear as Western brands, while everything from the R&D to manufacturing screams China. How can you build consistency and trust with such fundamental discrepancy? Not everyone can be a princess, nor can everyone climb to the very top. Think carefully about the market segments. Which section do you wish to serve that actually matches your capacity, product, and time frame? So, how should you approach branding as a fledgling Chinese company? Here are my practical recommendations. First, positioning. Decide who your customers are: the common man, the merchants, or the prince. You cannot serve everyone and everything. Take a long, hard look at market segmentation and decide on your strategy. Do you want to focus on cost and operational excellence? Do you aim for product leadership packed with features? Or do you want to build relationships and focus on customer intimacy? Step 1. Start with your look. This includes your brand name, logo, and fundamental assets such as your brand website, catalog, and packaging. In a world that values first impressions, this is a ticket to the ballroom. Remember the comics? Contestants with a lesser appearance will be rejected at the door. Do the best you can to attract your audience so you have the chance to engage them further. Step 2. Work on your move. You're not going to charm a prince with clumsy steps or unrefined language. Develop a personality, voice, and story that makes you undeniable. You should actively engage in social media and events so the world knows exactly who you are. Step 3. Think about your soul. If you have made this far, you should have a pretty clear idea of what you want to achieve for the rest of your corporate life and perhaps even aiming for an IPO. It is time to elevate yourself above the common crowd with brand purpose, vision, and value so that even the most critical customers will come to appreciate you. But beware, there is a price to be paid. You must genuinely believe in and live up to these ideas. Otherwise, you may be perceived as inauthentic. As we have shared in the customer journey episode, there are so many touchpoints that can make or break your brand. Leave no stones unturned and do not expose your weak side by accident. As we are the people who tread the water by filling the stones, these principles will ensure you have the best chance of success at each step of your growth without exhausting your resources. Branding is not a single deliverable, nor is it a decorative exercise. It is a structured, progressive system that helps the company to earn attention, build trust, and ultimately win preference in a crowded market, especially in today's medtech sector, where products' capabilities are converging and the competitors are multiplying fast. Make a positioning decision first. Be clear about who you serve, what you stand for, and why you deserve to be the one. Execute branding in stages so you build a brand that fits your growth curve, respects your budget, and gives you best odds of standing out in a sea of similarities. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, save, or subscribe if you find this useful. I'll see you in the next episode.